Hi, John with Simple Property Management here. I wanted to go over a year in review with you. This year was challenging in some respects, like last year, but in a lot of ways, it was very good. Firstly, though, I want to introduce Carol. She's worked for us for about 3 months. I just want to give you an introduction to our newest team member, Carol. Carol works remote and she's been with us for about 3 months. She's been working with tenants, with applicants, getting a good rounded education on how our processes and procedures are. And now she is going to be working with some of you. And the reason is when I am out on the road, I'm at properties. Now we can do evictions. And a lot of you have simple questions about leases and things like that. So we brought Carol on and she's going to be able to help you out with that. So Carol, welcome to the team. And what can you tell us about your background, your family? Just give us a quick introduction.
Hi, nice to meet you all. I have over about 10 years of experience in the uh, property management with my family. They own several properties out of Utah, so I've always worked with them remotely as well. And I've worked for HVAC companies, for the insurance companies, and plumbing companies as well. So I'm very familiar with most of the aspects of a leasing company property, with the management companies as well.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out that we really liked about Carol is having a good feel about maintenance and working with heating and cooling and plumbing companies. Obviously, you all know as clients of ours that maintenance is a big issue to us. So we're just happy to have you, happy that you have the experience with maintenance. Um, any other things that you think we should know about you?
The maintenance and the plumbing, I know it's a very top thing in your area and stuff like that. So it's really something that I've worked on, and I am very familiar with that. And I'm anybody that needs anything, I'm always willing to help as well. If you have any questions, I'm always willing to help as well. So and I'm just happy to be on the team.
Great. Well, thanks again for coming on our team, Carol. And we are all looking forward to serving you. And hopefully, this increases our already quick communication, but we want to increase that even more and really just give our clients a great experience. And I think that having Carol on the team is going to help us to do that. So thanks again for coming on, Carol.
It was a pleasure.
All right, now let's go over our year in review. So we are still getting some questions on the eviction moratorium. That is basically, as of right now, done. The only thing we've seen is that if there are COVID case rates so high in a certain county, then they can push the evictions off. However, Kent County, Michigan has hit that. We have not seen evictions being pushed off at all yet. So it could get brought up by legal aid or something like that. But judges seem to be going ahead and doing evictions. We're It's still taking a little while to get into court, longer than pre-COVID. We're happy just to be actually in court, but we're seeing really where the weight is between when we send to our attorney that says, hey, they haven't paid or they haven't moved and or they haven't moved. So let's file the writ of eviction, which means we can personally move all their stuff to the curb. We've seen that take a little bit longer. It used to take about a week for the attorney to get in and get it into the get it to the judge, and then the judge signs it, sends it back. That usually took a week. We're seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks right now. Again, we're just happy to be able to evict people. Luckily, because of all the SERA funds, we haven't had that a whole lot. We really, I don't think, have had a major eviction issue like some other people think we are going to have. But and I've seen the same thing with other management companies. We're really not seeing an issue. SERA funds in 2022, they are they're slated to kind of go away sometime in 2022. I've seen dates of March. I've seen dates of September, October. So I'm not really going to put a firm date on that, just because depending on where you look, it says certain dates. But right now, they're probably going to run out or go away at some point in 2022, unless it gets extended, which there's a possibility of that. I don't have any good feeling. We haven't heard anything down the pipeline that says for sure that it is going to go away or they are going to continue it. What I can tell you is when we file for an eviction for one of your tenants, the first thing we do, if it's a money eviction, is we file our side of the application for SERA funds. So our goal is to get that process done very quickly, very effectively, and then we don't have to evict people. We are still heavily investing in technology. We believe that technology can really help us create an even better client and resident experience. So the big one that we started doing pre-COVID that we really pushed through during COVID was these Matterport 360 tours. So we go through with a special 360 camera, and your resident can be anywhere in the world and walk through this house. And they can see everything. They can go up the stairs. This is not one of our properties, by the way. They can see the bathrooms. Our goal is that you either have somebody from outside the area that views this Matterport and they like it. We then encourage them before they move in to either walk it personally or have somebody they know and trust walk it. That doesn't always happen. We've had people from California move into our properties without physically walking it. We've had people from Detroit do the same thing. We just had somebody else. We've had a fair amount that I can think of off the top of my head that have moved in just off this Matterport. The other thing we want is we want residents viewing the property that actually like the property and like the layout. We don't want somebody walking in to a kitchen saying, oh, I hate this color, or I hate this, something about this kitchen. We don't want them walking through your property. That's just taking a space from a potential other prospect to look at the property. One thing we're watching closely is Matterport can do these floor plans that look kind of like this, but it doesn't show any pictures. It just shows that, hey, this right here is a bedroom. Oops. It's a bedroom, and here's the size of it. According to a Zillow, which believe what you want to believe about Zillow, but according to one of their feedback requests with residents, is more residents want that layout with the sizes on there. So we're going to do some testing in 2022 and see if that helps our marketing. Our goal is to have the best marketing package out there for our properties. One other cool thing with Zillow or with Matterport that we're using to save you money is you can actually zoom in, and they actually have this handy measurement tool, so you can do a measurement. It's within 1%. We've tested this before, so you can't really see on that one, but it looks like 9 foot something. You can measure this wall to this wall, 4 foot something, 4'6". So you can use that. We've used it in areas that are outside of Grand Rapids where our painter can just do a quick square footage and then price us off that. So he doesn't have to go out there. It doesn't cost you any extra. We've used it in another area where we had to have some vent work done for a furnace. We did the whole basement, and then they could take measurements off that, quote it without going down there, again, saving you money. So these are accurate. I've personally tested them. And we're really just looking to see what our clients and what our residents want. One thing we did this year is we're starting to use keypad deadbolts. Our residents love it. It's more secure during the showing process because there's no key out there during the showing process. It doesn't cost you any extra. So it's really a kind of a win-win-win for everyone. That's been great. Also saves our time on the road with lock boxes and things like that. So we're always just looking, what's the next big thing? Um, that's actually works, provides value, and is a fair price that we can do without really charging extra or the potential of charging extra. Um, what we are seeing though is inflation this year. Obviously, throughout COVID, we've seen that. I don't really see costs of products going down in the 3 to 6 month future. I do have some notes, I'll be looking off, but I mean, the good news obviously is your property values have gone up. So that is a good thing. Our vendor labor, we're seeing that slowly but surely go up. We had one vendor email us, their rate went from $55 an hour to $65 an hour. Luckily, that's not our normal general maintenance vendor. So it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't end up costing much more because they're not on the job as for, 5 hours doing a unit prep or anything like that. But we're seeing that vendor labor is hard to find. Good vendors are hard to find that can also work with tenants, keep tenants happy. And obviously there's a labor shortage. So we are seeing vendor labor go up a little bit. Our general maintenance vendor has not raised their hourly rates yet. I do potentially see that coming through with gas and everything going up. Something has to give. Appliances and capital expenses, costs are going up. If you've gotten an email from me lately that says, hey, we have to replace a fridge or a stove or a dishwasher, you've seen that bill and you've seen that those costs are up, if we can even get those at that point. Right now, we're sitting pretty good as far as inventory for the make and model of fridges, stoves, dishwashers that we like to get. But there has been times where we have to put in a different, mostly refrigerator, when fridges were hard to get. So we have to put in a different maker model, or an oven. We can't get our normal style. So we have to go to a nicer style because that's all we can get. They don't have a stove. Capital expenses are also higher. Paint has gone up. Roofing, just the materials have gone up, plus the labor. If you need a furnace or water heater in the next year or two, my suggestion would be that if it's just a general swap out, we do that sooner as opposed to later, because every month I'm hearing from our vendor that their material costs for that furnace or that water heater has gone up. So I've also seen where, like our vendor was telling me earlier this week, and it's December 15th, our vendor was telling me earlier this week that a boiler that they put in larger multifamily properties is 12 weeks out to even get it. So they're sourcing a different boiler, of course, but it's just harder to get things right now, and costs are up. So I want to prepare you for that. Parts and supplies are obviously up. Appliance parts, we've seen those, they're higher. Paint, as I said, is higher. Parts to fix furnaces, water heaters are more expensive. But we're also seeing where if you have a furnace that takes a specific part for that model, so the blower motor, for example, we can't just put in a general blower motor and make it work. We have to get a specific blower motor for this furnace. Those, we've seen them be back ordered, or they're way more expensive. Inducer motors on a furnace, we've seen a lot of those where just the costs are very high, if we can even get them. So I want to prepare you for that. Cabinets are higher, gas is obviously up, so that just increases all of these costs. Our turnover costs are up just because everything else is up, and it all adds up. Our hourly rate, as I said earlier, for our maintenance vendor has not gone up. Their mileage rate has not gone up. It's really just the cost of the materials are sky high. So we are doing our best to minimize turnovers. We're doing our best to keep good paying tenants in the property. HOA dues, property taxes, property insurance. We've kind of heard that all of those are up. We don't physically pay those on behalf of you, obviously, but we've heard that those are going up. Obviously, taxes, because your property value has gone up, and HOA dues potentially are going up because, you know, the cost to fix that roof is more expensive. So something has to give. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to really walk that fine line of raising rents. So we want to raise rents because something, again, has to give. If your costs have gone up, your only income line item or your only income lever that you can move is rent. So we are doing our best to raise rents, to market, keep them at market value, a fair price. But we're also seeing where we also don't want turnover. So we want to keep good paying tenants in the property while also raising rents, but not raising them so much that people are going to start moving out. So that is basically my year in review. Again, I think that this year, you know, although it's challenged us, we are a much better company by using technology, streamlining things. It's really pushed us to be a better company. And I hope you've also seen that. We're very fortunate and we're happy you're with us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Carol. My email address is changing. It is johns@simplepmgroup.com, johns@simplepmgroup.com, and that's JONS@simplepmgroup.com. Reach out to me, and here's to a great 2022. Thanks. Have a great new year.